Hi, my name is John Patrick Marceliana.
Hi, and I am John of C. Miralles.
And I'm Shaina Lee.
I am Diagram Nani.
And I'm Arya Malandras. Salamat Tanggahari or good afternoon and welcome to Brunei. Having joined the Intergovernmental Association of Southeast Asian Nations, or ASEAN, on the 7th of January way back in 1984, Brunei Darussalam is a country that envisions prosperity and growth in education, institutional development, and social security, among many others. In the ASEAN's mission to accelerate the growth of all Southeast Asian countries, as well as maintaining their intergovernmental and individual peace and stability, their declaration stands in several pillars that represent the purposes of the association. Primarily grounding ASEAN's relationships are the political, economic, and social-cultural pillars, the latter which we'll be exploring on today's journey. For today's itinerary, the first of our 4 destinations is Brunei's contributions to Islamic education.
Brunei has worked to advance Islamic education and values throughout the ASEAN area. It has cooperated with Islamic Education Scientific and Cultural Organization, or the ISESCO, to advance Islamic culture and education. It has organized several conferences and seminars on Islamic education and values. Another area of cooperation is the preservation and promotion of Islamic culture. ISESCO has worked with Brunei to promote cultural exchanges and the preservation of Islamic heritage. For example, ISESCO has supported the establishment of the International Islamic University of Brunei Darussalam, which aims to promote Islamic education and research. Brunei has a long history of providing Islamic education to its citizens. Today, there are many Islamic educational institutions in the country, including the University Islam Sultan Sharif Ali, also known as UNISA, which is the country's only Islamic university. Another significant institutions of Brunei is the Sultan Omar Ali Saffuddin Center for Islamic Studies, which was established in 2008. The said center is a tertiary level institution that offers undergraduate and graduate programs in Islamic studies, including Islamic law, Islamic banking and finance, and Islamic economics. Brunei also has a rich tradition of Islamic literature and scholarship. The country has produced several notable Islamic scholars and thinkers over the centuries, including Sultan Sharif Ali, who played a crucial role in spreading Islam in Southeast Asia in the 15th century. Brunei has also been actively promoting Islamic education in the ASEAN region through various initiatives. In 2012, Brunei hosted the ASEAN Education Ministers Meeting, where the Brunei Declaration on Education for Peace, Harmony, and Sustainable Development was adopted. This declaration emphasized the importance of promoting Islamic education and values in the region. In 2016, Brunei launched the ASEAN University Network for Islamic Studies, which aims to promote cooperation and collaboration between universities in the ASEAN region in the field of Islamic studies. This network includes universities from Indonesia, Malaysia, Thailand, the Philippines, and of course Brunei. Brunei has also been providing scholarships to students from ASEAN countries to study Islamic education in the country. In 2017, Brunei's Ministry of Religious Affairs awarded scholarships to 10 students from ASEAN countries to pursue undergraduate degrees in Islamic studies at UNISA. Overall, Brunei's efforts to advance Islamic education in the ASEAN region reflect its commitment to promoting Islamic values and culture, as well as its desire to contribute to the development of the region as a whole.
Brunei's positive involvement in ASEAN has been widely praised. Notable in its efforts to foster trust between ASEAN and China officials throughout the ASEAN chairmanship in 2013. For example, one significant development in the South China Sea issues in 2013 was China and ASEAN's commitment to actively cooperate towards an enforceable code of conduct. 3 months after ASEAN leaders began the negotiations on how to resolve territorial disputes in the South China Sea at the summit in Brunei in April 2013. China agreed to begin the deliberation with the ASEAN on a binding code of conduct at the ASEAN Regional Forum. In addition, Brunei's ability to manage meetings, agendas, and stakeholders' concerns during the ASEAN chairmanship in 2013 helped to ensure the integrity of ASEAN-hosted meetings as venues for constructive dialogue in the ASEAN Pacific, while also reinforcing Brunei's image as a credible player in ASEAN and the region. Furthermore, Brunei also has encouraged other ASEAN member states to expedite the AEC blueprint. This was an important initiative as Southeast Asia becomes more important to various regional trade integration efforts. At East Asian Summit in November 2013, only 79.7% or 279 measures of the AEC blueprint has been completed according to the ASEAN Business Advisory Council. Brunei had indicated to the other ASEAN leaders to further intensify the efforts in the remaining areas to meet the common goal by the end of 2015. Lastly, the ASEAN also highlighted Brunei's important role in rising and proficiency of the other ASEAN member states in the English language. It was stated that Brunei is doing what it can as a small member, but it has contributed a lot in resources, both financial and intellectual, to the ASEAN.
Within and outside ASEAN, Brunei is a big advocate of healthcare accessibility, believing that all citizens are entitled to services that enhance their health and overall being. While public health may be of great concern to an unsettling number of countries around the world, this country is particularly notable for their healthcare that is free of charge for all citizens and permanent residents, of which majorly cover child immunization, child pneumonia, tuberculosis treatment, and HIV treatment. While such acts may not be directly sent to neighboring ASEAN countries, Brunei's priorities in the healthcare of ASEAN lies in the sustainability of healthcare and providing for increasing demands. In cases where Brunei's public hospitals aren't available to attend to advanced medical concerns, their government coordinates with other countries and subsequently procures the financial requirements to send these patients overseas for treatment. Granted, in the local scene, this medical initiative fails to discriminate against its patients. Beyond practicing it in their own country, Brunei has also called ASEAN for programs that cater to the medical needs of the public and those whose financial resources are beyond stretch. The country has led several ASEAN health conferences, such as the second ASEAN Digital Public Health Conference, where they called for individualized yet accessible care to all patients. In Brunei itself, basic health services are extended to rural areas in Brunei through networks of health centers, health clinics, traveling clinics, and even flying medical services for patients who are especially difficult to reach. For the Bruneian elderly, hospitals in Brunei provide services such as home-based nursing, occupational therapy home assessment, and medical social work services. Despite having had only two major hospitals, namely Raha Esteria Pengiran Anak Saleh Hospital or RIPAS and Jeridong Park Medical Center, their overall medical industry is augmented by a number of smaller hospitals, medical clinics, and dialysis centers. With all of these being actively practiced in their country, Brunei has continuously stressed the need for health transparency and development within their country and within ASEAN. Such transparency includes ensuring that the masses fully understand the risks and implications of any ongoing diseases, viruses, and general health concerns.
The National Disaster Management Center, or the NDMC, which is in charge of monitoring all phases of disaster management from risk assessment and adaptation through mitigation and recovery, has formalized Brunei's national disaster risk reduction and disaster management systems. As part of Brunei's all-encompassing strategy, security agencies, including the Royal Brunei Police Force and the Royal Brunei Armed Forces, work closely together and in coordination. Brunei is also an active and integral member of the Association of Southeast Asian Nations, or the ASEAN, which has created systems and resources for coordinating and responding to catastrophes. Brunei itself is typically not a high risk for natural disasters. Despite being located in a region that frequently experiences them, the country is not in a typhoon path and has not had widespread flood damage. However, there are floods during the northeast monsoon and the transitional wet season. Despite the fact that earthquake-related disasters are uncommon, low-level earthquakes have been documented. Due to its membership in ASEAN, Brunei Darussalam aspires to take on a more active role in the region, especially as the nation celebrated the organization's 30th anniversary in 2014. One area is disaster management, wherein the nation may greatly bolster its involvement in ASEAN. Disaster management is a crucial security issue, even if it isn't very contentious in respecting the non-interference stance of ASEAN. Brunei Darussalam in particular has found this topic to be relevant. Given the prevalence of flooding and other recent landslides all throughout the nation, geohazard mapping is recommended for Brunei Darussalam to enhance disaster preparedness and response, and a plan of action was developed to ensure successful implementation.